Hello, and welcome to this presentation on writing assignment hacks for online classes. My name is Al. I'm the UNLV Online Student Support Specialist, and I'm excited to talk with you a little bit about how the programs you have access to as a UNLV student can help make your life a little bit easier when it comes to writing assignments. This presentation is mainly going to focus on Google Docs. We'll go over the basics of Google Docs. We'll look at UNLV resources that you can use for your writing assignments, and hopefully you'll be able to determine which tools will be the most helpful. You actually also have access to Microsoft Office as a UNLV student. You get the free Microsoft Office 365 suite, so you can use any programs within the Microsoft brand. But again, I'm mainly going to focus on Google Docs for this presentation because it is a bit easier to use from the user experience side of things. Everything you do in Google Docs auto saves to the cloud. It's really easy to collaborate with your classmates and even your professors. And again, it's just a little more intuitive and it's available online. So you can always get to Google Docs without downloading anything. Microsoft Office is more advanced and there are a lot more features. So depending on how advanced the writing assignment is or what you need, you may want to use Microsoft Office. And again, you do get it for free as a UNLV student. Before we dive in, I just want to talk briefly about the Writing Center. This is a really great resource for all UNLV students. They hold virtual appointments, either live one-on-one appointments where you're working with a Writing Center consultant on any type of writing. It can be an essay, it can be an email, it can be really big or small, brainstorming, editing a final draft. They help with everything writing related. And they also have an asynchronous option, the OWL. They'll send you some comments and feedback based on what you request. You can schedule an appointment with the Writing Center online. You can actually schedule right through the Rebel Success Hub, or you can go to their website, unlv.edu/writing-center, and scroll down to schedule an appointment or submit to the OWL. Again, that's the asynchronous option that where you'll receive feedback once you submit. Okay, let's get to it. Let's go to Google Docs and check out a few things that you can do using the program. To get to Google Docs, go to google.com/docs. When you get to your Google Docs homepage, you'll want to make sure you're logged in with your ACE ID. You can create a Google Docs account with a personal email address, but as a UNLV student, you have access to Google Workspace, which gives you some extra features. So if you're not already, go ahead and select your profile picture in the upper right-hand corner and then select Add Account. You can then type in your Rebel Mail email address and finish signing in with your ACE ID to get access to the student version of your Google Docs. From your homepage, you'll notice that you have access to a lot of templates, which can be really helpful. You can also organize your previous documents, and these icons here above the list of your documents can change the view from grid view to list view. If you select grid view, you can see more details about what those documents are. I'm going to go ahead and get started with a new blank document. I would highly recommend you give all of your documents a descriptive title. Don't be like me where you have a million untitled documents that you don't know what they are. A good idea, a good practice would be if you are creating an assignment, you can add the course name and then an underscore, the assignment, and then an underscore, and then your last name. Just an idea. If there's another idea you have for a descriptive title that works. But this way you can always look up your different course documents if you need to. Everything you do in Google Docs auto saves, so you'll never lose any of the work you've done. A few basic features, depending on what formatting style you need, you may want to reset your margins or your line spacing. You can go to File and then Page Setup to adjust the margins or the paper size. And then you can also set as default so that all of your future documents will be set up this way. Pageless means that you won't be able to see the pages and they'll all flow into the next, which can be useful for some types of assignments, but personally, I like to keep the pages. You can also go to Format, line and paragraph spacing to change the spacing or add custom spacing. You can also add or delete spaces between paragraphs. If you ever notice weird spaces that you can't get rid of in your assignments, that might be what's going on. So you could come up here and just select remove or add if you need them. And then you can add headers or footers if you need to apply a heading like your last name. You can change the alignment using the tools up here. Add your last name, and then what I would do is select options and then page numbers, and then you can add page numbers as well. Now, let's talk about the different styles. This is actually a really useful feature where you can add styles that will apply to the whole document. So normal text would be your paragraph text. If you are using headings, I would recommend using the headings tabs instead of making everything, going through the document and changing the size of certain things. You can also change the default settings by making your heading whatever you'd like it to be if you want it to be bigger. And then you can say update heading 2 to match. And then watch this. If you just type something, select it, and then select heading 2, it'll match exactly. So that's a really nice feature that you might want to use. All right, I just put some text in here to kind of show you what you can do once you have text in your document. So I'm going to highlight this and make it normal text so that it all looks the same. And then, you probably want to add paragraph spaces and format everything correctly based on what your instructors need. Now, I want my normal text to already have paragraph indents. So I'm going to go here, select update normal text to match, and then watch this. I'll copy that in again, highlight it, and then select normal text. And now it will automatically indent the first line. You can add in hyperlinks to different websites or to even different parts of the document. If you select and then press Control or Command and then K, you can copy in a link, or you'll notice too that there are links to different documents or even different parts of your tabs. So we'll look at tabs in a minute, but you can always hyperlink to other parts of your document. If you add a heading and then highlight it and make it a heading using the styles, you will then also be able to hyperlink straight to your different headings. And then if you select this, it's not going to go very far, but you'll be able to go straight to the heading. Let's say you want to add an image to your document. If you go to Google or find any image you'd like, you can select insert image and then upload it from your computer, or you can simply copy and paste it into your document. Now, let's say I want to make this image be formatted better. These options that come up below the image can be used to more easily format your image. I actually like to select this one in front of text because then you'll be able to just click and drag your image wherever you want it to go. But you can also have it appear behind the text, make the text separate, and so on. Make it wrap around it. So whatever works best for you, but I kind of like this one. Something you might need is a word count to make sure you're meeting the requirements of an assignment. And you can always just go to tools and then word count. And you can also check your spelling and grammar and more. Voice typing is a really nice option as well. If you select voice typing and then allow your computer to use your microphone, it will start typing out everything you say. And this could be a great way to get started on a assignment that you're having trouble with, or just get your ideas down quickly, because we all know, well, I know that typing can get sort of frustrating if you're working fast. And then you can select the microphone again to make it stop. All right, let's look at version history really quickly. If everything you do in a Google Doc auto saves, and so you never have to worry about saving as you go, but you may need to go back and pull up a previous version. You can always access every single edit that has ever been done to a document by going to help, and then I would just recommend typing in history, and then you'll see the option to see version history. You can also get there by selecting Command Option Shift H, but I think this is easier to remember. And then you'll notice, if I can zoom out here, that all the previous versions of this document that I've been working on in the last few minutes are available. And then you can go back here and restore a previous version. And you can even rename the versions so that if you want to keep track, first edit, and then it'll always show up that way. So you can always know based on what you need to keep track of. And if you do want to restore a certain version, you'll just want to select the version and then restore, and then it'll go back. But let's say that was a huge mistake. I can just go back, see version history, and look at that. I can get the version I just accidentally deleted. So you can always access that. And if you would like to have two different versions active, or if you have any other reason to make a copy of your document, you can just select File, Make a Copy, and then you'll just want to name it something descriptive, and then select Make a Copy, and you'll have that accessible. You can star your documents to make them easy to find by selecting the star up here next to the title, and then you'll be able to find your documents in your Google Drive. I created another video about Google Drive that goes into more details about some of the organizational features, but just as a quick review, you can always reach your starred files under starred. And from the document itself, you can always move it into one of your folders, which I highly recommend to keep track of everything you're doing. So let's just say I'm making this for an English 101 assignment. I'll move it here, move it, and then it'll be in my starred and in my correct class folder. Now let's talk a little bit about revising and editing your documents. You can easily share Google Docs with other peers or friends or your professor by selecting Share in the upper right-hand corner. And then you can add emails here to send people a link to the file over email, or you can copy the link to send it yourself. Make sure that you change the access because if you don't, then folks won't be able to view your documents. Your documents are private unless you give them access. So I like to go, anyone with the link can be a commenter, editor, viewer, whatever you prefer. Viewers can't do anything. They can just view the documents. Commenters can make edits that are not permanent, and then editors can do basically anything they want with the document. So totally up to you there. Once you send someone a document, or if you receive a document from someone, you can use the comment feature and suggesting features to provide suggestions. If you highlight a part of the text, you can then select add comment. Looks like a little speech bubble with a plus sign in it up here. And then you can type in your comment and then select comment. And then anyone can respond by selecting your comment and then responding. You can also add emojis to comments. And then when you're done, you can always mark the comment resolved to make it go away. There's a few different modes you can also use as you explore Google Docs. These are the editing, suggesting, and viewing modes. Similar to the permissions, editing allows anyone to edit the document with whatever they want to do. Suggesting means that everything someone does just becomes a suggestion. So you might notice that this has some green bars around it. This means it's not permanent. If you do like it, the suggestion, then you can come over here and say accept suggestion, and it'll just become part of the text. And then if I backspace it, I'm still in suggesting mode, so it's only going to suggest deleting it. You can always get back to editing mode by selecting the suggesting or the mode up here and moving it between viewing, suggesting, and editing. And you'll notice when I moved it to viewing that now I can't do anything, and it kind of changes how it looks. This feature can be really helpful for peer reviews or group projects or anything that you might want to send for feedback, including if you want to send a draft to your instructor. Last, let me show you how to download your documents. If you go to File and then Download, you'll be able to select different file types based on what you need. Usually you'll want to download it as either a PDF or a document, but your professor should give you some guidance. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or need assistance with Google Docs, please know we're here to help. You can reach out to UNLV Online Student Support at onlinestudents@unlv.edu. Thank you.